So there are specific questions asked. If the president is appointing 6,000, what's the percentage? 51. Assuming that all of that is correct. Okay. But fact is, all of that is not also correct.
All right. Samson, thank you. We in the NDC tolerate divergence. And so I respect the divergent opinions of my co-panelists around this table. But you see, the problem with us as a country is because of the hypocrisy in our commentary on national issues. The hypocrisy and the double standards is just too much. It is a fact that on 16th January 2016, the presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party then in Kumasi at a national delegates conference of the NPP made a solemn promise to the people of Ghana that if elected, he will not operate a family and friends government, and proceeded to add that his wife will not distribute contracts under him as president. Nobody has been able to deny that promise or that fact. Now, when President Akufo-Addo made that promise, was he engaged in propaganda masturbation like Mr. Baako suggests? Was he expecting President Mahama to appoint his enemies into office like they are arguing around this table? Was that symptomatic of defective legal thinking like Gary is suggesting? Because the president is also a lawyer. And yet he was talking about family and friends. Somebody's wife distributing contracts, and that he will not do that. Was he, I will come there, so allow me to flow. Was he exhibiting, no. You don't ask the question, so allow me to make my point. I was here when you were speaking. Was he exhibiting defective legal thinking? Was he engaged in propaganda masturbation? Was he engaged in an amorphous, useless exercise, like Mr. Bentil is suggesting? Let us be principled. Let us be consistent. They were in this country when the president made that promise. We didn't hear them say the things they are saying around this table. Then they say, oh, now let's reduce the whole thing to political arithmetics. The president has the power to appoint about 6,000 people. And so if he appoints 60 people and so what? President Mahama appointed only one person who had any form of familiar relation with him. And that was an issue. So appointed one relative of yours. The New Patriotic Party addressed a press conference on that. Which was actually addressed by Boakye Jako, their policy advisor. The president and his vice all spoke against that, just one family relative. And you think that 50 is okay. Well, granted that the president appoints 6,000 people. How many families are there in Ghana? Thousands of families. And you think that it is okay for only one family to have 50 out of 6,000. That is your understanding of fairness. And then they say, oh,
you are saying that.
Hold on.
You are saying that at the time President Mahama was president of this republic, he didn't have any relation
in his government.
No, wait. Nephews or whoever working in any state organization.
Okay. We are
That's
saying.
the question. I need you to answer that question.
Yes,
that is the fact.
Because we haven't said that your question is wrong, so I need to correct the question.
No, it is not wrong because the people you
did this at the
people you speak
I was
about
thinking that you allow me.
Listen,
please.
Let me show you. Let me let you understand something. There's something that you, the politicians, don't understand. Let me just explain this briefly.
Okay.
There's something that you, the politicians, don't understand. Once you put a matter forward and you come on the show, don't expect us to give you a blank check. When we are interrogating those issues, allow us to interrogate because you have had the opportunity
and
to
before
speak.
I end, you ask another. So
it is important. In fact, it helps you to bring the best out of the situation.
You are asking me whether there was no relative of President Mahama working in any state in
because you mentioned Joyce Bauer, which is at the level of ministerial appointment.
And I am telling you that your question is misconceived because what is at stake here is the issue of appointees of the president. I am saying that apart from Joyce Bauer Muktari, President Mahama never appointed any family relative of his into any position. If you dispute that, produce evidence and let's discuss that. He never appointed any person.
You refer to
and yet
Dr.
that was an issue.
Dr. Bawumia's relation, who you have been told was in this
a lie.
Was
a
in
lie.
this position before the government,
a blatant lie.
Government came in.
So if you allow me, I will address those because it's a blatant lie. He was working at the Ministry of Interior under us, but he was not a presidential staffer, and he was not a technical advisor to the Minister of Interior. Under the NDC, there was no position called technical advisor to the Minister of Interior. That is, hold on, now? Yes, he is. His name is on the unprecedented list of 998. If you want, I will prove that to you. And so his current position as technical advisor to the Minister of Interior is an appointment made by President Akufo-Addo.
Okay, so that's what you are questioning.
It is also a lie for Gary to sit around this table and say, Nana Kofi Asante Bedietu's father is not in government. He is the government representative on Ghana Bauxite Company. He is the chairman of the GIPA Council. And did I hear somebody say that is not government? Who is he there representing? He's representing government. He's an appointee of government, answerable to the president. So let me proceed systematically. Today we are having people in this country who know that all around the world, nepotism is frowned upon because of its tendency to breed corruption and favoritism, saying that it is okay for the president to make his own daughter a member of the Creative Arts Council. It is okay for President Akufo-Addo to dash a vast space dedicated for a duty-free shop in Terminal 3, built by President Mahama, to another daughter of his, without any transparent tendering process. How did President Akufo-Addo's daughter get that space?
President Akufo-Addo gave a contract.
I am saying.
No, that's what you're saying. President Akufo-Addo
I have not said that. That is your creation.
That's what you said.
No,
he said he dashed.
Yes,
actually.
Of course.
So gifts.
Yes.
That he gave a contract.
Yes, and that is even stronger.
The president gave the contract.
The only reason why President Akufo-Addo's daughter is the one running that vast space as a duty-free shop is because her father is president. Because that space was not given to her through any competitive, transparent tendering process. If you know it, you can tell us. The Ghana Airport Company is watching. I am daring them, challenging them to adduce evidence that we went through this laid-down procedure of law to select her. You are saying that it is okay for the president to give his baby mama, Madame Virginia Hesse, a position as ambassador to the Czech Republic. It's okay for his cousin to be finance minister. It's okay for his cousin to be roads and highways minister. It is okay for his maternal relative to be works and housing minister. It is okay for the wife of his nephew to be a board member of GMPC, the brother of that same wife. Here I'm talking about Gabi, to be board chairman of BOST.
Board chairman.
Rodalemba Fojima, another cousin, board member of GOEL. Is Ghana for them? Are they the only qualified people in the MPP? Are they the only qualified people in this country? And then when we are raising these issues, okay, people oversimplify the issue. And I mean, we are all a family. We are related to each other. Why? Samuel Abujinapo is the president boy. We didn't mention his name. Mustafa Hamid used to work for the president. We didn't mention his name because they are rather the ones who are stretching this whole argument into realms of absurdity. Because we didn't talk about all those friends of the president. We are telling you that if the Bank of Ghana has oversight responsibility over the banking sector, and you have a co-founder.
Data Bank is not licensed with the Bank of Ghana. Just be sure about that.
Is it not a bank? Are they not under the regulatory?
No,
under
BOD.
Simple.
Yeah, it's not a bank.
It's under SEC.
Hold on.
No, get your law right. Get your facts right.
Please.
Get your law right. Get your facts right.
I respect you, so show me the same respect.
Yeah,
I beg you, please.
I think so.
You see, Data Bank. Are we saying Data Bank is not a bank and doesn't fall within the regulatory functions of the Bank of Ghana? Is that what we're saying? It doesn't fall within. So it falls under who?
SEC.
Who?
It's a finance house. SEC.
SEC.
It's not a bank. Yeah.
So it doesn't fall under the finance ministry.
It's a finance company.
Well, that is what we can interrogate.
Check this fact.
No, but I know that the Bank of Ghana has regulatory functions over Data Bank. And for that matter, if Kelly Gajiku and all the other stuff I have mentioned...
You're just being corrected. You should take that.
No, that is what they are saying.
But we need to double check that.
But I don't think that is true because I think that the Bank of Ghana has oversight over Data Bank. I will not accept that. But you see something? Look, they make the argument that we are engaging in tribalism and ethnocentrism. Yet, in this country, you had a friend of President Akufo-Addo, Professor Stephen Addo, who he has now awarded with 2 juicy positions. Board chairman of Ghana Revenue Authority Board and chairman of National Development Planning Commission.
Is he competent?
Oh, hold on. He came out and said this: President Mahama must stop the northern appointments. Mr. Kofi Bentil was in this country. Gary Nimakon was in this country. And Mr. Baako were all in this country. All of them. I never heard any of them call Professor Stephen Addo to order. This is a man who lumped all people of northern descent, northern background, as relatives of the president. Today he has been given a position in this government. And now you are talking about, you are the only people, the NPP is the only party which has engaged in the politics of ethnocentrism under the guise of nepotism. We haven't done so. We are saying that hard-working members of your party have been sidelined in your own stronghold. And yet, people who came from nowhere have been given juicy appointments only because they are related to the president. What role did Madame Virginia Hesse play? But for the fact that she is a baby mama of the president.
Why are you the one to determine that for the party?
Because we all speak
Has
based on what we know.
the party complained to you?
Oh, Kennedy Japan was complaining not too long ago.
Was
the
complaining
CEO of GMPC, Dr. KK Sapon, was complaining about the practice of clanism at GMPC relative to the national chairman of the NPP, Freddie Blay. This is not the creation of Sammy Gyamfi. I am speaking about things that senior members of the New Patriotic Party are record to have spoken about. Then, Samson, you have a situation where a contract being executed by a state company bust is taking over. If I can just make this point.
Wait. Yes. I have a certain difficulty.
Okay.
And my difficulty is this, that you just throw out allegations about people and how they may have procured a particular contract, and you think that is enough and that's it. All of us should take that.
One example.
The example
of Stratcon Energy.
You just referred to at the is it the airport?
I will put
listen, all you have done is what the political parties you are good at doing, to say, I have made an allegation. Let the one who feels it is wrong come to proof.
So what proof do you need? I have told you, Samson, you are a journalist. I have told you that we have given a state asset to the daughter of the president without any transparent tendering process.
Transparent? Now you are saying transparent.
Without any tendering process at all. I am telling you that as a fact. My integrity is on the line here. You have a production team. What evidence do you want me to give you? You want me to give you what? I have told you that a company associated to the brother of the president, Bonti's daughter is Addo Nekufuado. Her husband owns Stratcon Energy, a company with no track record in the energy sector. They have taken over a contract which hitherto was being executed by a state company, Boss. When Boss makes profits, that revenue comes to all of us as a country. They are depriving that state company or the state of revenue. That revenue is now going into the bank accounts of a family relative of the president.
And your point is that
Stratcon Energy won that contract without any competitive tendering process. This one too, I am alleging here. My integrity is on the line. You can check if you say I am lying.
Wait.
I mean, when I don't get you when you say I should give you evidence.
Hold on. When you say without competitive tendering process, are you saying they got the contract by sole source, or there was no contract
nothing
at all?
Like nothing at all.
How is that possible?
Nothing at all.
How is that possible?
Were you not in this country?
No.
How was it possible for 11 contracts awarded through restricted tendering, or about 4 contracts awarded through restricted tendering to a company owned by ADJ to be sold? Let me to other companies.
Let me make this disclaimer.
Okay.
That for some of the claims you have made, particularly with regards to matters of contracts, it is difficult to believe that in these organizations a contract can be handed without a process of contracting, either sole source or restrictive tendering or whatever it is. To that extent, I will say, once we are not in a position to immediately verify the claims you are making, we will not be associated with those comments.
Thank you.
What I'll therefore ask is that you don't proceed to continue with those claims.
Okay. What I will say is this.
Okay. I give you the next 2 minutes to finish up on your submission.
I respect your disclaimer. I mean, you're entitled to that. The NDC as a corporate body has conducted its investigations. We stand by all these claims because they are factual and indisputable, and anybody who disagrees with that can adduce contrary evidence, or they themselves know what to do. But then again, how can we sit around this table and say that it is okay for oil funds belonging to the people of this country, which are supposed to be utilized for the benefit of everybody, to be given to the wife of President Akufo-Addo?
Okay, that's another discussion.
We have said that.
Hold on.
It's the next
No, but
discussion.
we have said that.
You have an issue with everything. I will not be part of that discussion. But it is within. Okay, I will move to another issue. So then let me move to another issue within my two minutes. So Samson, number one, I have made a point that President Akufo-Addo promised not to practice nepotism. And we have every right to hold him accountable to that promise, because that is what we are supposed to do as citizens and not spectators. Number two, we have every right to subject him to the very standard he subjected President Mahama to. He is not a sacred cow, and we will not allow him to reprobate and approbate. Number three, we are saying that this unprecedented practice of nepotism he is pursuing is actually leading to a situation where Ghana is losing millions. Corruption is on the ascendancy. His ability to crack the whip on these people who are milking the state coffers dry has been weakened as a result of the family tie that binds him and those public officials together. And we are saying that if the United States of America can outlaw nepotism, something Mr. Bentil calls amorphous, and yet agrees with us that an amorphous thing can be outlawed. If other countries, can outlaw nepotism,
yeah, we can do that.
then the call by the National Democratic Congress that it is important for us to impose clear restrictions on the powers of the president to hire and fire, so that that power is not abused. And so that at all times, the president and public officials will ensure an even distribution of opportunities and resources. That call is in order. They may disagree with it, but we know that majority of Ghanaians, including MPP faithfuls, agree with us. Okay. The nepotism is too much. It is breeding corruption, and it is killing the country. And people must have the courage to speak up, say the truth, be principled, be consistent. If you didn't condemn something yesterday, don't condemn it today.
All right,
because
thank you.
You
Thank you.
exhibiting double standards.
Thank you.
That is all I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you very much.